Satnam, welcome back to the channel. My name is Gobind. This is your channel for grace. Thank you for being here live. Thank you those that are watching the replay. I'm excited to be back this week to do mini readings live here on our YouTube channel. So to get on the list for a mini reading, you can click the link in the description of this video. The readings are only pretty much going to be happening while I'm live. So if you're watching the replay, then you'll have to wait till the next time I go live to get a reading. But if you are watching live, you click the link, it's $25 and I'll do a reading for you. And I've got my tarot oracle cards, so we can do intuitive readings. We can do astrology. We can do human design. You can look at jinkies. Essentially, what I want to offer is an opportunity for you to like ask a question that you have. Let me check the sound real quick. Sounds good on my end. Definitely check it out. Anyways, so hello Sandra, welcome in. So I was saying that you can get on the list. And you can ask a question, and then I ask that you let me decide what method I'll use to answer your question. Like I'll intuitively be guided to look at your astrology or your jinkies or maybe your human design, or maybe I'll say, we need to pull cards for this question. So that's what I want to share with you. And other than that, again, thank you for being here. Let me just say hi to everybody that is here in the chat. Hello, Rebecca. Welcome in. She is new. She's friends with Amber and Shauna. They have been following me for a while. They speak very highly of me. That's really sweet. Thank you for being here. And Sandra, how are you? Good to see you too. Hola, hola. And if you're here live or watching the replay, also, I want to remind you to please make sure to give this video a thumbs up. That is how we spread the word. When you give the video a thumbs up, the algorithm basically is able to know, more people that like this kind of content, I can reach in this direction and then that direction. Hello, Anya. Hello, Anastasia. So anyways, the reason why I ask you to please give the video a thumbs up is to help the algorithm get the word out, get more people to see these videos and find their way towards this channel. That are meant to find their way here, and that helps a lot, especially if you enjoy the content. Also, I encourage you to leave a comment below, and if you get a reading tonight or if you're watching the replay, you can tell me in the comments what is one thing that you learned from watching this video, because one of the things that I love is that the learning aspect of watching me do readings on people is really cool. So before we dive into the readings, and we already have one person on the list, and that is Anastasia, I want to share with you something very exciting that I am getting ready for, that we are getting ready for, and it is the Moon Goddess Training. And the Moon Goddess Training is the program that I have been running since 2022. It is filled with basically everything that I know. I teach it in this class. You learn your jinkies. We go through all three sequences. You learn your human design. You learn like type, strategy, authority, incarnation cross. We talk about how the incarnation cross works, where to find, like where you can find it, even in your astrology. You also learn your profile, and channels, circuitry, human design circuitry. We cover all of those things. You also learn, in astrology, you learn like to read your own natal chart, what it means, and also in a sense, kind of how to read other people's charts too. Like a lot of the girls that graduated from the Moon Goddess Training, like are able to look at other people's charts because they've learned quite a bit of astrology through the Moon Goddess Training. The reason why we learn all of these things in this program is because it's comprehensive. And the entire intention behind the Moon Goddess Training is that in order for you to live at your best and in your purpose, you need to know yourself. And knowing yourself, from my perspective, is knowing and understanding your charts, your life's work, your evolution, your radiance, your purpose, what activates prosperity for you. All of these things we have to learn about ourselves and our authority in human design. How do we know if we're in alignment in life, and how do we know when we're out of alignment, and how to put ourselves back in alignment? All these things are key to you fully stepping into like your full self, and in your purpose, in your mission, all the questions that everyone always asks me about. And so because of that, it's jam-packed with all of that information. Now, the way that the Moon Goddess training is organized is there's 3 different levels. So level 1 is learning all the fundamentals of everything. Level 2 is beginning to apply the teachings a little bit more into your personal life, and then learning about relationships. And also, we go into the Venus sequence in level 2. We also go into childhood trauma and healing old wounds in level 2. And then after we do all that, the heavy work, level 3 is the official certification of reading the Akashic Records. And I teach reading the Akashic Records in a very unique way, where you get to use your intuition, your strongest intuitive gift, which you only find out by doing all the work from level 1 and level 2. And it's amazing. I actually do have a free mini training that's available that I did, I think, a couple of years ago, but it gives you a hint and an experience of what the Moon Goddess training is about. So I highly recommend that you check that out if you're interested in the program. Tomorrow, we're going to be going live with Ashley, and we're going to be talking about level 1, like in detail, and showing you one really fun thing that you get to learn from level 1. You can also read a little bit more about me as, your teacher, your guide. On the website, you have all of the tentative dates, which level 1 is pretty much set. But we're starting on February 17th. This is the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, which is all about revolution, change, regeneration. We always start on a new moon, but the fact that this one is an eclipse is very, very significant. It's going to activate, like it's going to set the tone for the whole year. That day is also the Chinese New Year of the Fire Horse, which is such a powerful year that we're stepping into. And all of this is like encompassing our journey through the Moon Goddess training. You can see here also that we go through the temples along the Nile. So we follow the ancient initiatic path, and with it, and this is week by week, there's a different temple theme and lesson. Each temple is aligned to a chakra. So we go into the Akashic Records and do a journey in the Akashic Records to that temple. Like we go back in time through a guided visualization, and we have an experience at that temple. We also learn about the chakra that's connected to the temple, what lessons we learned within that temple. It's like you're going to school. You're literally back in time in the ancient mystery schools, learning Hermetic alchemy, sacred geometry, the moon centers, the moon phases, all of this, held together in such a powerful and like fun journey. Level 1 is usually people's favorite level, but all the information is here. So check it out. The level 1, each level is 1444, but you can get all 3 for the price of 2. So that's the super deal that I always run for anyone that's like ready to just commit to the whole journey. And I do offer payment plans. You can do payment plans through like the payment link through the Stripe system that I use. There's Klarna, and there's another one, I can't remember the name of it, but it's like they check your credit, and then they offer a payment plan for you that you can choose from. Or you can reach out to me directly and work with me directly to do a payment plan. I do that every year. And it usually works really well for the woman. So I don't want you to feel like all the women that do the class, but I don't want you to feel like you can't take it because you can't afford it or whatever. Like, just reach out to me. We'll figure something out. But check out this page. It is amazing, jam-packed with all the information for the whole program. Scroll all the way through, like read all of it, and you can see like how much is actually in this page, all of it. And even some of the what moon goddesses are saying about the program that have graduated from the program. So had to share that with you all because it is my baby and we're going to get started soon. So I am freaking stoked. Okay. So let me go back to the comments here so I can see what you guys are saying. Hello, Mark. Welcome in. He's here from Hampton, Virginia. Anya asks, how do I sign up for a reading? I'll share that with you in one moment. Rebecca says, I would love a reading as well. A reading would be welcome. Moon Goddess program is one of the kind, can't find something like it anywhere else. Yeah, I agree with you, Anya. Thank you for saying that. She did graduate from this program. Also, hello. Megan is here. Would love a mini reading. Okay. So all of you guys that want to get a mini reading, the way that you do it is go to the description in this YouTube video. It'll take you to my Stripe account, and it's like just a payment link, and you pay $25. And then as soon as you pay the $25, I get the notification and I'll add your name on this list that I've got going right here. So we already have, I think, a couple people on the list. Hey, Ash. And the first person on the list is Anastasia. So if you're on the list, here's what I want. For these readings. You bring me your question, and I ask no prediction questions, like no things like, oh, when is me and this person going to get together again? Or like, when is this going to happen? I'm way better at reading because I am a projector, what's going on with you personally. So you can ask questions about what's the biggest lesson I need to learn from this or this or this experience that I'm having right now. You can also ask, what do my spirit guides, angels, and teachers really want me to know right now? What's the most important thing that I need to know right now? That's as general as we'll get. Or if you have a specific question or any question in general, that's not predictive in nature, then if you allow me to choose whether we need to look at your astrology or your gene keys or your human design, and I can help you answer that question based off of what I intuitively tune in is the best method for answering your question. So Anastasia, let's go ahead and put your question up on the screen, and I will go and check my payment link to just update the list. Okay, so Anastasia's first. She's going to put up her question now. After her, it is Sandra. After Sandra, it's Caitlin M. And after Caitlin, it is Megan. All right, so now we got 4. Let's get this party started. Yeah. Anyone else's sound is funky? Can you guys post in the chat if your sound is fine so that Rebecca knows to go out and come back in, because her sound apparently is not working. So sound is cutting in and out for her. Hopefully that's not happening for everybody. But yes, there is the updated list. And okay, here we go. Do you do galactic astrology readings? Would like to know more about my starseed origins. Let's do it. I'm down to do that. But not everybody jump all on that. I'm just kidding. I'm totally kidding. I can hear you good. Sounds all good. Thank you guys. Sound is good. Okay. So then, yes, Rebecca, best to go out and come back in. Thank you for confirming that, you guys. Okay, so I'm going to need your birth information, Anastasia. Unless somehow, it's not saved under my recently used. So go ahead and post your birth info in the chat, and I'll look at your starseed markings. Now, I will say that what makes the starseed reading, because I do starseed ancestry readings, They are powerful because the entire time that I'm like looking at your chart, I'm straight up channeling. Like I record those readings. Anybody that's got one from me, like share in the chat what that was, the experience of that was like. But there's so much more that comes through when you officially get that Starseed Ancestry reading. So I highly recommend you do. This will be like a quick, summarized version, just quick glance at your starseed markings, and then you'll be able to take that information, just kind of like go find some more information about it, go research some more about it. Okay, so waiting for birth info. Also, make sure that it was so freaking cool, says Megan. Make sure that, what was I going to say? That you're watching in real time. Like if you go out of the video and then come back in, like make sure that the bar on the bottom, like the red line on the bottom of the video on YouTube is scrolled like all the way to the right. Cause otherwise you're like watching in the past and I'm like ahead of you. So there's going to be a huge delay. And if it's your turn to ask a question, if I call your name, you want to be watching in real time. Otherwise we'll have to skip to the next person and then come back to you. But anyways, okay. Gets put in Anastasia's information here. So we have March 19th, 1976, 5:30 a.m. Montreal. Okay. So let me just double check that everything's correct. All right, here we go. So Anastasia, you have Sun, 28 degrees of Pisces. You're a Pisces rising. Well, you have a lot of Pisces in your chart. You have a lot of water. That's kind of cool. So Venus, Pisces, Mercury in Pisces, Chiron, Jupiter in Aries, North Node Scorpio with the moon. Hey now. That's Moon Goddess path. South Node in Taurus. Oh, interesting. Mars at 0 of Cancer. Saturn 26, Cancer. Pluto 10. Uranus also in Scorpio. Neptune 13 degrees of Sag. Midheaven. 12 degrees of Sag. Okay, so when you have the sun and the moon in a starseed marking, it's actually really a powerful thing. You actually have your sun on Pegasus. So that's the first starseed marking. Now, Pegasus is the winged horse. So your homework is to go search the story of Pegasus. What does he do? What's the story? He's in a lot of myths. He's in a lot of mythology. But essentially, think about it. It's a horse that flies. So pretty badass. If you find out like what the horse represents, and then the fact that it's freedom with wings. Dude, I literally just posted a video today on my Instagram. I shared a story that it was like a Budweiser ad, but I don't care because I was like, damn. Because the year of the fire horse is coming, so that's like really freaking cool. It was this really cool story of like, it's a short clip, like a horse that races an eagle, and then the eagle can fly. Like, I don't know. It was so cool, but it's kind of like that. So horse with wings lifts you up into the sky. Your Chiron and your Jupiter and Chiron are very close to an Andromeda starseed marking. So Andromeda is all about the liberation of the soul. So there's the healing, right? Chiron is the core wound. It's healing that when you heal your core wound, you're liberating yourself, and something about breaking the chains is really important for you in your life. So Andromeda, you're also an Andromeda starseed marking. The stuff in Scorpio here is in the Centaurus starseed energy. Centaurus starseeds are very shamanic. Scorpio is death, change, and transformation. So it is something like, shaman, being drawn to things like shamanism or that kind of healing path, because it's with your North Node. you might you might want to like look into those things, because you'd be natural at that. Well, not necessarily natural, because North Node is outside of your comfort zone, but I think it would be stepping into your purpose. Any type of like mystical shamanic practice, helping people transmute their shadows into gifts. Really powerful stuff, the Centaurus energy. And then your Neptune and your midheaven are Ophiuchus, starseed markings. Ophiuchus is the 13th sign, the hidden sign, and it's all about the occult. So you may be, you're intuitively, like Neptune on Ophiuchus is like intuitively connected to the occult information, which is the ancient mystery school knowledge. Actually, looking at your chart, I would be like, oh, you'd be probably really good at the whole moon goddess thing, moon goddess training, because your moon is with your North Node and it's that Centaurus energy. So the midheaven is also your 10th house, like life path, mission, purpose, like the occult, the hidden, like bringing through hidden information. So there you go, Anastasia. Hopefully that was fun for you. That was actually really fun for me. Okay. Next we have Sandra. So, Sandra, can you please, put up your question? And I'm going to cross Anastasia off the list. So Sandra's next. After Sandra, it's Caitlin. After Caitlin, it's Megan. I'll just constantly be checking the payment app to see if anybody else got on the list. Nope. No one else yet. Sandra, starseed markings. Is this your chart, Sandra? Or is this somebody else's chart? Okay, so 8, 18, 19, 65, 22. Montevideo. I feel like I didn't I do starseed reading for you? I can't remember. August 18th, 1965, 10 p.m. Montevideo. Okay. Here we go. Okay. All right, you got Sun in Leo. That's fun. Moon in Taurus, North Node Gemini, South Node Sag, Mars at 29 degrees of Libra. Your Mars is exactly conjunct my Pluto. That's kind of crazy. You got some strong Virgo over here. Look, 29 degrees here, 29 degrees here. 29 degrees is a powerful degree. These are things that you've mastered. You're a master at these things. Very interesting. Jupiter also in Gemini. You got Chiron. Saturn in Pisces. You've got you're a 0 degree rising. Oh, dude. Okay, so sorry, I can't help myself. But right now, Neptune just entered Aries. So he's literally he's going to cross over your rising. I wonder if the conjunction is going to happen in your 12th. It's on your rising or in your, I can't remember the exact minutes. Oh my God. So it happens basically directly on your right. This is a big deal. So I think you're going to go through like a rebirth. Everybody is, but for you, especially with that 0 degree Aries right there, boom, when planets cross over the rising, it's like a rebirth. And whereas before in the 12th house, they can be like a challenging, transit. When they cross over the rising, it's like, oh, I'm free. Finally, we're done with that shit. So I don't know. That's kind of exciting. Okay. But starseed markings. First one that like jumped out at me is your North Node. Your North Node is exactly, it's exactly, if you count like the gentle shifting of the fixed stars, Aldebaran is basically at 10 degrees of Gemini. So Aldebaran is one of the 4 royal fixed stars. So it's the eye of the bull. It is connections to Archangel Michael. Yeah, so like North Node Gemini is like speaking your truth, sharing your story, getting really curious about things, but also connection to like that. It's a higher calling. Archangel Michael is known as the consonance of Christ. So it's like he's like the right hand man for God. It's pretty cool. So somehow that is wrapped up in the story of your nodal axis. That's pretty cool. Your south node by nature is going to be exactly opposite. And so your south node is on another royal fixed star because these are opposing, which is Antares, the star at the heart of the scorpion. And it's about transformation. It's the scorpion. The eagle has to close its eyes and become the scorpion to find its true self, to find its truth. And once you become the scorpion, then you transmute. The scorpion then becomes the snake. The snake becomes the eagle. The eagle becomes the phoenix. And there's, evolution, ascendance. Also, 10 degrees of Sagittarius is also a fucus. So you're in a fucus starseed marking, and that might have been where you came from in your last life, or it's what you chose to remember in this lifetime or bring with you in this lifetime. Really important there. Where else? Okay, the other one that I see Neptune has that Centaurus vibe too that I was talking about with Anastasia's chart. It's shamanic. This Neptune in a Scorpio can be like mediumship gifts, gift of connecting with those that have crossed on. But Centaurus is shamanic, intuitively shamanic. And then your Jupiter on 25 degrees of Gemini, that's on Orion. So then you have Orion starseed marking, and Jupiter is the biggest planet. So he enhances this frequency for you. So anything about Orion, you probably have really loved to tune into since you were little. So those are the ones that I see as very significant. So cool. All right, Sandra, thank you. Hope you liked that. Next we have Caitlin. So what is your question, Caitlin? And if you want to get on the list, it's $25. I'll read your chart right here live on YouTube. The link to pay is in the description of the video. Yes. De nada. Hey, Dawn. Welcome in. So far, we're just kind of breezing through them. We've done 2 readings, and here's our 3rd one. After Caitlin, it's Megan, and after Megan, the list is open. Is there a reason for my lack of motivation to create this past year? Okay. Let's add this in. Let's go, Kate. Uh, 8/12/1977 for 4:41 a.m. CO set in New York. It's not finding CO set in New York for some reason. Can you give me maybe the nearest city? CO set Nassau? Does that sound right? I don't even know. Never heard of this town. I've been in a state of stagnation for a while now, and it's not like me. I'm not necessarily upset about it. It just feels weird. Try Babylon. Okay, that one worked. Well, let me just take a look at this real quick. And then, what do you know what your human design is? I can't remember. I know I've looked at it before, but I can't remember. You've got Mars in Gemini. You're a manifesting generator. Do you have the 3 or the 60 active in your chart? Okay. Let's look at this. Four 52, 4 9 4 6. I'm not sure where to look for that. Okay, do you have a picture of your chart? So if you have a picture of your chart, look on the bottom, the very bottom, the little bottom center, the square is the root center, and then right above it, it's another square, it's the sacral center. So in between the center on the very bottom and the sacral center right above it, the 360 channel is right in the middle of those. There's 3 channels, that one's right in the middle. So if you have anything in the 3, anything in the 60, or anything, if you have that channel defined, if it's colored in, then that means yes. So yes. Okay. So I wanted to look at your progressions for a moment, just to see like what phase like you're currently in your life. You recently went through a full moon, a progressed full moon. That happened August 6th of 2023. And so the progressions are basically telling us the evolutionary story of your life. It's like the background frequency of your life. And whatever is going on with the progressed moon, essentially it's saying like, this is, if your life was a book, this is the current chapter that you're on. So you had this progressed full moon. It was in Aries. And when you get to the progressed full moon, it actually activates the culmination, the climax of the last 14 and a half years. So if you think about what was going on in your life 14 and a half years ago, something was initiated, something was sparked to life at that time. And you reach the climax of that story in 2023. Now, Aries is actually the energy of action. So what ends up happening is it's also individuality, like your sense of self, your identity. It is interesting, though, that you do have your South Node in Aries. And so whenever anything happens in Aries, you can feel like the past is coming back, or old stories are showing up to be healed, old karmas, new lessons come through, anything that happens in Aries, which it's interesting because we're going to be going through some like major Aries stuff soon, already now, but soon, and in the next like 13 years. And your South Node is right there. So it's like pulling out like the stuff that like is unhealed or hasn't like fully cleared, you haven't fully activated your gifts. South Node is about your gifts. You are here to learn to like work. You're here to learn about relationship and like what's your power in relationship, wielding power, like just the archetype of power in relationship is a big theme for you. It's also probably uncomfortable because it shows up in relationship, that dynamic of like, oh, power over this or power over that, or just power in general, using your power, not using your power. So it can be a little bit uncomfortable, and North Node always tends to be outside of your comfort zone. You're comfortable doing things all by yourself. You're not comfortable working together with a bunch of other people. And that might just be like internally, like on the outside, you might be like, no, I'm great with other people. But on the inside, you subconsciously just want to do things yourself. Like you trust yourself more than you trust other people. But that's the lesson that you're here to learn, to trust other people and learn to collaborate and work together and find like harmony in with other people. So anyways, this full moon was like this climax that happened in 2023. And then since then, the moon, so I'm going to click back to now, the moon finished its transit through Aries and is now in Taurus. It actually entered into Taurus. I'll tell you when that happened, because when the moon spends about 2.5 years in one sign in your progressed chart. So it entered Taurus August of last year, August of 2025, August 22nd, which is kind of crazy. And so since August of 2025, that Aries energy is done, and now it's Taurus. So Taurus is slow. It's about slowing down. Taurus stabilizes things. Taurus is meant to ground you. It's supposed to be like a auspicious time because the moon in Taurus is exalted, but maybe you're feeling like it's too slow for me, you do have, you have Leo, you're born with Leo sun, you're Leo rising. So Mars in Gemini, Jupiter in Gemini, it's like, quickness is also part of what you do like. And so maybe it just feels like things started to slow down. But they're essentially stable, like because things are stable, they're stabilizing. And so what ended up happening though is that as the moon started moving forward, it began to conjunct Chiron, and Chiron is right there. You have Chiron at the cusp of your 10th house of career and life path and mission. And so that is an old wound. That's a fear of not having enough. Chiron and Taurus, like fear of not having enough. So the moon was like it had to pass over that and like revisit that theme and ask you like, where have you let go of this fear? And that could be fear of not having enough in terms of like, that comes out of you, like your creativity, like you were asking about. It could be that you're having to let go of a part of you that is insecure. And so that is the story that you're learning. So once you let go of that insecurity, your creativity will come back. Your creativity will be, activated again. But moon in Taurus is a time where you're stable. Now, the other thing about it is that you need to be letting yourself receive right now. This is not time to be like, yes, things can grow and evolve, but the buildup happened all the way up to 2024 or 23. I can't remember what I said. The buildup happened already, and now you're on the other side of the full moon, which means it's harvest. So maybe it's not necessarily about creating something new, but like really taking in and absorbing and receiving from what you already have created. So maybe that helps you find a little bit of insight. And I was asking about that channel because that channel, and if you have any individual circuitry, it can, you can go, and especially if you have the generator aura, you can go through plateaus naturally that eventually like stop and action comes back. So you may be just naturally going through a plateau through the lens of human design. And then that just means you just got to sit through it, like sit through the discomfort, and trust that, it'll come back. So anyways, Hopefully that answered your question or gave you some insight. Okay. Now we have Megan. So Megan, go ahead and ask your question. After Megan, we have Anya. This all makes so much sense. Okay, I love that. That's good. Glad to hear it. Okay, here we go, Megan. Would love to see what guidance comes through looking at my chart at the past, current. Hello, Tina. Welcome in. Upcoming astrology. I feel big changes, moving locations. And my guides want to show me something through my chart. Okay, let's see here. Okay, I don't have your chart there. Thank you. I was checking to see if I actually had it saved because sometimes I do. I should save it though. All right, November 7th. 7/19. Okay. Well, all the stuff that's going to be happening in Aries is trining what you have in fire, especially your south node. That's the first thing that caught my attention. That's so you do have Jupiter with your, I mean, it's not exactly right next to it. It's 12 degrees versus 1 degree. But yeah, so this is a sextile. So the conjunction of Neptune and Saturn in Aries is actually happening in your 5th house, which is creativity, children, passion. I know you're a manifesting generator, and I know you understand what it means to like stay in that space of satisfaction and knowing like, okay, this has reached its course because too much frustration's happening now, you know. So that's good. I know you know how to do that. To redirect yourself. I can't remember your authority. I think it's emotional. But this is very important because that it's an activation for all of us. I'm actually going to do a workshop, you guys. I didn't get a chance to get all that ready. Energy has been super weird. And even though I wake up a lot during the night because we have a wood stove. So it gets really cold. And then at night, the dogs wake up and they're like, I need to go pee. So I have to let them out. But it's good because I get up and like get the firewood stove going again. And so my sleep is definitely interrupted, especially on really cold nights. And it's been pretty cold the last 2 nights. So even though I woke up, I woke up a bunch of times, but then I kind of slept and slept and slept. And this morning I was like, what time is it? And I woke up and it was like 11:30 a.m. And I'm like, what? I never sleep in like that. But it was weird because that entire time I wasn't really sleeping. So I don't even know why I went off on that tangent. The energy is weird. Okay. I think that's what I was getting at. However, I'm going to do a workshop and I'm going to get that information out soon about this specific transit of Neptune and Saturn in Aries, 0 Aries, because it's like our souls, it's a soul's new beginning. So it's like creativity for you that's being activated, and it's making a sextile to the north node and a trine to the south node. So it's like activating your nodal axis in some way, right? So there could be some kind of a shift in terms of your path, your life path. Let me look at your progressions real quick. I don't know, when was the last time you looked at them? Okay. So your moon is in Scorpio. Your progressed moon. That's huge. So it entered Scorpio on, let's find the right day, entered Scorpio on October of 2025. So when the moon in the progress chart entered Scorpio, it's like, okay, it's time to let go. It's time to release. It's time to make space. Something new is coming. This moon is going to freaking pass over all of your stuff in Scorpio. So I think you'll feel a huge shift when it passes over the rising. But where is it at again right now? Right now it's at 3 degrees. So it's moving through the 12th house. So moon in Scorpio is going to be endings and beginnings. Also, the moon is, you see that it's behind the progressed sun. It's coming up to the sun. So you're now officially on the balsamic phase of the moon. This is what it's like. The balsamic phase of the moon in the progress chart is like endings because a new beginning is coming. So things things during this time are going to naturally ask you to like let them go. And your job is to not resist that and to just follow your emotional authority towards your new direction. But there's 100% a new direction. And something like you're letting go of maybe an old belief system, right? 12th house. You're letting go of old desires, like revisiting your priorities. Your priorities are changing. Right? Something about you in your power is changing too, and in your communication also. So just for fun, so moon spends 2.5 years. So this is 2.5 years of moon in Scorpio. Like, it can be gnarly, especially if it's a moon in balsamic phase. But it'll enter Sag in 2028. And your new moon is not going to happen until 2030, but the new story begins in 2030. If I go forward and kind of find the exact. So that's what you're looking forward to. So yeah, 2030, around May of 2030. So for the next 5 years, whatever wants to go, you gotta open the door, be like goodbye, and don't resist the endings, because there's a new beginning being set forth for you. Wow, that's actually really cool, Megan. Okay, there you go. She says, I feel that so much. So hopefully, yeah, that gave you some clarity. Okay. Thank you. So next, let's go to Anya. So it looks like she posted her question already. I feel I am at the pivot point related to my job, and I need to change it around or just move to something totally new. Any signs of transformation in my charts? Signs of transformation. Okay. I'll see if I have your chart saved. I don't know that I do, so you might. Yeah, I don't have it saved, so I'm going to need your chart info. So I can actually pull up your chart. And after Anya, let's double check. I feel like Megan says, feel like I knew it, but love the clarification. Yeah, totally. So let me check real quick what we got. You guys, make sure to join us. After Anya, the list is open. Make sure to join us tomorrow. Ashley and I are going to go live, and we're going to talk about the Moon Goddess training. It's a Q&A. So we're just doing it live on YouTube. So if you have questions, you can ask them while we're live. You can ask them while you're watching the replay, because I'll answer the questions that come into the comments. But if you're curious about Moon Goddess training, we're gonna do 3 lives, 1 per week until the program starts. We start February 17th. And what you're going to get all the information about the Moon Goddess training, like in detail. We're going to go through like the schedule, all the different like lessons that you're going to be learning. So it should help you to gain clarity about, you know, what it is, if this is in alignment with you right now. But I can tell you that it is a fucking powerful year to do the Moon Goddess training. 12, 28, 63, 5:45 p.m. Okay. So, yeah, we'll do that broadcast tomorrow. So don't miss it. Okay. All right. Let me just look at your transits real quick first. Question is, any signs of transformation in your chart? Okay. Well, this Aquarius season is a very important season. We're going to be having a annular solar eclipse on February 17th, which is the day that we start the Moon Goddess training this year. That eclipse is happening at 28 degrees. It's happening in your 7th house, which is the house of relationships. Aquarius brings in that like revolutionary, like, let's make a change. So this would be a good time to, like, if you're feeling pull or called to transform, change, transmute, this is energy that supports that. First thing I want to say. But it's a change in relationships. It's like wherever it's happening in your chart, there's a revolution. And it's going to bring about some kind of unexpected change or shift because it's Aquarius, and Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So that's the first thing. Like all of these planets here, they're hitting your Venus and your Saturn in your 7th house. So relationships, that might be where you see, maybe it's a partnership. You know, maybe partnership is more important to move into. I'm not sure what the work situation is exactly, but something that will shift in terms of relationships for you is the big theme. Let's see what else. The conjunction of Saturn, Neptune at 0 is going to happen in your 8th house. So that's also, it's an initiation, but it's an initiation. We're all stepping into our hero's journey. It's an initiation that is calling you to let go, to change, it's death, change, and transformation. The 8th house is scorpionic. So releasing, letting go to make a place for a whole new story. We're all entering into a new story. This one is happening for you in the 8th house, so that is significant. Right now, the North Node is on your Chiron, which is probably bringing up a little bit of not fear, but maybe insecurity. Like maybe there's a piece of you that's like, I don't know anymore, you know? Or maybe it's like, hey, do you still believe that old story? Do you still have that belief system? You know, are you ready to renew that? What has changed? Just highlighting this core wound of Pisces of like, does God really exist? I mean, I know you know God does, you know, I know you're connected to your spirituality, but it's bringing something up that can be uncomfortable during this time. It's like it's asking you to like question your beliefs, your story. So that is also probable. In Uranus is in your 10th house of career. And wherever Uranus is, like you're gonna feel the change, and he's getting ready to move into Gemini. So when he officially enters, he's going direct this week. Then this week or next week, I can't remember exactly. Then when he officially enters Gemini, which is going to be in April of this year, that's going to feel like a new story in terms of 10th house of career and life path. Right. Yeah. So something unexpected, like a positive change you could see it by April in your house of career. That would be if there's any change, transmutation coming, like Uranus is a big deal. It's kind of cool that he's right there in your 10th house. Maybe you're feeling him like working his magic through you. And the other thing I want to check is your progressions, just to see where you're at here. And you are just on the other side of a full moon. Wow. Okay. I'm going to go to the exact moment where it happened so you can see the, like, how this, you tell me how the story has been unfolding for you. So 7 degrees, 57 minutes. So October of 2024, you had a progressed full moon in your chart. And if you remember what this means, it's the climax to the last 14 and a half years. It's a big deal when you have your full moon in your progressed chart. I had it in 2024 in January. So you had yours at the end, towards the end of 2024. But it's a culmination. It's like, okay, something very important lives here. 7 degrees, 57 minutes of Virgo is the 40th gene key. And the 40th gene key is, let me click on that again just to get, okay. And I remember the 40th gene key has a lot to do with like how you're using your energy. It is part of it's found in the will center. And right now, that 40th gene key is actually being activated by the nodes. The north node is right there. Wow, that's like actually really fascinating. That right now the north node is there. Give me 1 second. I just want to double check. Yeah, 3740 is where, so so the south node, not the north node, the south node. Okay, that's even more interesting because the south node is like, there's a karmic release. So somehow that's connected. I don't know exactly why, but the 40th gene key goes from the shadow of exhaustion to the gift of resolve to the city of divine will. It's called the will to surrender. It's part of the codon ring of alchemy. That's important. This very powerful genetic grouping known as the ring of alchemy plays a pivotal role in the transformation of the human species. Each of these 4 gene keys will transmute your DNA so that there is no longer any interference in your physical body. This is a very powerful genetic grouping. The 6th gift is breaking down the barriers in human relationship. The 40th gift is forging this new openness into our communities, and that's the one where your full moon happened. Forging the new openness into our communities. The 47th is allowing us to transform our old ways, and the 64 is opening us to a fresh set of new possibilities for living a new way. It's alchemical. So you're essentially, what this tells me is that you're going through an alchemical, you went through an alchemical change literally in your body. And it's asking you to like redefine yourself. And also it was a full moon that happened in the 2nd house, which is the house of security. And you just mentioned something about security, right? So that is, those are all themes that are coming up. So when I click back to now, the moon is at 24 of Virgo, and it's going to change into Libra. Let's go forward and find that day. June 29th of 2026. So what essentially right now, I can't remember who I was looking at the progressions for a couple readings ago, but you're on the other side of that full moon. And that means that you're in the harvest part. This is the disseminating moon. So this is a time of harvesting. It's like you're no longer building up to something. That's already happened. You reached the climax already. Now it's time to let the universe bring. But you're also a manifester, right? If I remember correctly, I think you're a manifester. So I think you do you feel, so the question I would ask you is, do you feel it? Do you feel if the shift is like coming upon you energetically, then you need to just wait for the right timing when you're like, your aura tells you, okay, now it's time for the change, or like, now I know the direction that I'm supposed to go. Because if I remember correctly, I think you also have emotional authority. So you have to give yourself time and space to get clear about what it is that you really want. But yes, I do see that there's changes, you're being invited into changes, especially with Uranus in the 10th house. And the solar eclipse happening in the 7th of relationships. And the south node, wherever the south node is transiting, yeah, that's where it is right there. It's where you're being asked to like let go of old fears, old stories, old belief systems, and it's all about security, second house. The nodes are going to change signs. They're going to go into different houses soon too. That's going to happen in... So you feel like, oh, it's changing right around like May of next year. That will shift. So you got some time. Yeah, I would say that Uranus in the 10th going into Gemini, that's a big deal. Wait for the right timing. Let your authority... She says, I feel like I need to change. If not, life will push me. Yeah. I mean, I would say like, listen to that intuition. Listen to that intuition, because it's something that is like, it's yeah. So you know what else? This is interesting. So like when you look at, progress charts, if we like, something can happen like when we get to that full moon phase. Like if we don't like take it to the fullness, it might feel like the harvest is not the best. Right? But if you worked and you put all your effort into it, and just naturally, it's not something that you need to know that you have to do. If you're naturally putting in, following your design, leading up to the full moon, on the other side, there's abundance. There's like receiving that happens. And so maybe in order to receive, this thing needs to change for you. And maybe that's where that's coming from. Just a thought. But good question. Thank you, Anya. Okay, let's see if we have anyone else that got on the list. Does anyone else want to get on the list before we kind of end the broadcast? Because as soon as no one else is on the list, then I feel complete. How is everyone feeling this new energy? It's a little bit crazy. Okay, are you going to get on the list, Tina? Anya says makes sense. Okay. Yeah, so I hope that that gave you some clarity. Yeah. And we're moving towards a full moon this weekend, you guys. Okay, if you're going to get on the list, go ahead and get on the list. So the way that you get on the list is you send you go to the link in the description of this video and you send $25. Then once I get the notification, then I'll ask you to put your question on the screen, and then we'll do your so it's not free. So you do have to pay $25. I'm giving you guys like 5 minutes. No, not even. 2 minutes. If you want to get on the list, I'm staying on so that if you want to, you can get on the list, but you have to send the $25 first before you ask your question. That's how this works. I do have room. Yes. The list is completely open right now. If you guys get on it, as soon as I get that notification on my Stripe, then I'll add your name to the list and we'll continue. Otherwise, we are done. Okay. Becca says next time. Yeah. And don't do these too often either, so. Okay. But they have been pretty fun to do. So, question, if you're watching the replay, what is one thing that you learned from watching these readings? What's one thing? Comment below if you're watching the replay. What's one thing that you learned from watching about astrology, what human design, gene keys? Like, what's one thing that you learned tonight by watching this video? And we're waiting for Nancy Pants to get on the list. Sniff and Sift. What's your name? Is that Shorty? Is that what I'm looking at? Shorty? What's your name? No, only Stripe. Who is Shorty 9412? Oh, hang on a second. I've got. Okay, so Alicia is next. Alicia. Okay, and then it's Christina. Christina B. Okay, so Alicia, put up your question. And then Tina. I'm saying Tina. Okay, Tina. Okay, here we go. And there it is. And then we continue. So waiting for Alicia to put up her question. And after we do Alicia's reading, it will be Tina. So make sure that you have your question ready to just copy and paste it into the chat here. Ooh, okay. Can you put up your birth information on the screen for me, Alicia? Date, time, and location. And I'm trying to decide if we'd look at your astrology or your gene keys. I think I'm going to look at your gene keys. Because it's fun. And I'm curious if you've ever looked at your gene keys before. Zachary. Louisiana? Must be. February 5th, 1980. Hour 11:51 a.m. Yes, I looked at the gene keys. I didn't like the answer. What didn't you like about it? Sorry, my dog's why barking up a storm all of a sudden. Hang on. I'm going to wait for you to answer that question. I'm going to go check what's going on over here with the dogs real quick. Hang on. Okay. The empathic parts. Okay. Oh no. Yeah, the empathic parts. That's interesting. What do you mean by that? You don't want to be empathic? You don't feel like you are empathic? Okay. So, Life's Works 13, Evolution 7, Radiance 1, Purpose 2. Let's see if there's anything else that stands out at me. Oh, I see. Empathy is the city for the 13th gene key. So, but your purpose is the second gene key. Of all people, you are one of the greatest potential guides of others. Whether you guide people formally or informally is not important. What matters is that you come to realize the power you have within you. Your power lies in the art of listening. There's a stillness at the heart of your being that allows you to look at someone's life, particularly their past, and see it in an optimistic light. Your optimism springs from your ability to view each life from the level of myth. You know that every individual is a hero or heroine acting out an archetypal drama. Because you can read between the lines of life in this way, others love to be around you. You accept suffering and as grace and can always find the lesson in it. This makes you empathically very comfortable to be around because others sense that you will never judge them. Your key in life is to apply your gifts first of all to yourself, and this will unlock everything for you. No, I don't want to be. I feel everyone's everything, and it's heightened to the point I don't want to go out in public. Well, I feel you on that one. because yeah, it can be intense. So actually let's look at this. Okay, so 2, 5, 1980, 1151. Zachary. Okay, so you're a manifesting generator, emotional authority. Your 4-6 profile, right angle cross of the Sphinx. Yep. All right. Well, the question that I'd have for you, because honestly, like that is, why is this not, this is interesting. The Jinky site has been kind of acting up a little bit. So having a fear of being empathic and learning the true purpose of it, it's like, it's two different things, you know? So like if there's trauma in your past, in your life, so you know what, you heard of Teal Swan? So Teal Swan talks about that, I wonder if this will help if I read. She talks about the fact that people that are empathic are actually, they're actually, what's it called? They've had trauma in childhood. And because of that trauma, they have had to know what was going on in their surroundings, so they become empathic, right? So like if you had like narcissistic abuse or whatever, if it wasn't safe when you were a child, whether you suffered any kind of physical abuse or not, if you didn't feel safe as a child around the adults, then you developed like a protecting mechanism, which is called empathy. So it's a gift because you essentially are able to understand other people. Empathy is about like, I get you because I like I've been there, I feel what you feel. Like I can share in that space. It's not necessarily, you know, something that should torment you, but if you have had like traumatic experiences as a child, empathy is a protection mechanism. And yeah, if the door is wide open, then it's overwhelming. I get that. I have that too. I'm very sensitive. I grew up with emotional and psychological abuse. And it doesn't matter what the intentions are, right? Like this is not to put judgment on anything or anyone. It's just how you receive it and perceive it that's your story, right? That's your experience. But more than likely, I'm willing to bet that you had a challenging childhood. And so now that empathy is just like, it's out of control. So what you need, because this is obviously a gift of yours, right? But what you need is the ability to like walk yourself through challenging moments when you are energetically overwhelmed by everything around you. by the energy of everyone around you. You know, you have to know that you can only really like go out there. This is what I'm talking because I'm sharing you about me. This is what I do. Like I have anxiety too when I go out and about, and it's hard to, I do so much better like at home in my own little cave. What is your environment, by the way? You have valleys. So you're actually meant to be like among people, at least working together with people. But you have to find your way around that. Like it's best for me to go out and be in the world and when I'm in a really good place myself. You know, but if I'm not in a good place, like I might not be able to handle the anxiety that comes with going out and being in the world. You know, it also happens when you're like, you know, doom scrolling. It also happens when you're like watching the news too much, you know? So you have to find ways to work around the what do you call it? It's almost like, it's not like a sacrifice, but it's like it's just like how it's like how it's unfolded for you. But the gift is there. You know, the gift is there. But again, that one, like when you look at that one is your life's work. That one isn't your purpose in the Gene Keys. The purpose is at the bottom. The purpose for you is the second Gene Key. And this is what you're meant to embody. And this is actually really beautiful because the second Gene Key is all about the sacred feminine. It goes from dislocation to orientation to unity. And it's described as returning to the one, the ring of water. The ring of water draws humans along their inevitable journey to self-realization. So part of your purpose is to self-realize yourself. This is the great feminine ring, made of two of the prime feminine gene keys in the human genome. The ring of water forms a kind of eternal genetic knot with its polarity, the ring of fire. These two chemical families move us along the trajectory of our destinies, ensuring that our genetic material finds its opposite match. Even deep within the body, these chemical families set the primal blueprint for the balance of all the opposing forces inside us. It is in the crossfire of these two codon rings that the mystical figure of 8 is forged within each of us. The eternal love knot is deep within our planetary gene pool, sets each man and each woman squarely on the human journey. So have you gone as far as like reading the actual chapters of these Gene Keys in the Gene Keys book? What do you mean you totally messed that up? Messed what up? So anyways, we're just going through, we're just like playing with it because there's something really important. Like this is your gift. This is like who you are, you know? And you know, part of that like you become a teacher in your life. You're moving towards becoming a teacher, and the 4 line is it's naturally social. So if you're like against all of that, like something happened, you know, you can, so what it takes is you have to sit down and ask yourself, like, where does this fear come from? You know, and in the process of uncovering and reflecting on those fears of like, oh, I don't want to feel anybody. Yeah, the world's fucking crazy right now. People are crazy, but if you connect with the right people, the right tribe, the right community, you will feel like you're in your element. So if you're like looking at this and being like, I don't like it, it's, you know, I looked at it but I don't like it, then asking me what's my purpose, I'm just going to tell you the same thing and you're going to be like, I don't like it. You know what I mean? So like, it's like you got to sit with yourself. Like, what's the block there? You know? And these are deep questions. They're not easy questions. They're not easy things to like sit down with. Like, why is seeing this, and these words and these like aspects of who you are, why is there such like a resistance to it? That would be the real question to ask, because asking what's your purpose, like it's here, this is it. Like, you have to uncover it and unfold it and like bring it back to life somehow, which means you have to sit and ask yourself, like, why do I not like this? What is it about this that I feel, you feel like you get hung up on. If you just stop right there, it's like, okay, what, like, are you gonna go? Are you never gonna go see what's on the other side of that fear? Right? Like, are you never gonna go see what's on the other side? Because you're the one that's the embodiment of this design. You literally know more than anybody else about you, but there are certain things that we adopt throughout life where we take on other people's belief systems, other people's stories, and we reject our true selves. So you're rejecting yourself for some reason. That the real question isn't what's your purpose, is why am I rejecting my purpose? That's the real question. And if you sit with that, the real answers are going to come. They're going to come from inside of you. And then they're going to unravel where the deep work needs to happen. That is what I encourage everybody to do. Ask yourself the hard freaking questions. Otherwise, you just live your life like waiting for somebody else to give you the answer when the answer lives inside of you. What I can do is guide you to where the real issue lives and where you could dive deeper into that space. But I was right away, when you asked that question, I was like, oh, we got to look at the Gene Keys. Because the Gene Keys is the place where like you find the answer to that. What is my purpose? I don't know why the Gene Keys website isn't freaking working right now. But it's all for a reason, It's all for a reason. Yeah. I heard, I was watching someone's video. Let me see if this works again. And I really liked what they said. And I don't really watch this girl too much. EA, Elizabeth April, I think her name is. I don't really watch her very much. I follow her because like sometimes every once in a while I'm like, oh, I want to see what she has to say. And then I happen to like pop into one of her like latest videos, and I was like, what she said was like, holy shit, it made so much sense. And she said, right now we are all being called to make a choice, and the choice is fear or love. So are you going to choose fear or are you going to choose love? Here's your purpose. Through you, a new world is trying to incarnate. This means that you are really here as a vessel for humanity's future direction. You do not really belong in your own time in this sense because you always stand at the cutting edge of human achievement. The price you may pay for this is to be easily misunderstood by mass consciousness. It is not your purpose to compromise or water down the truth for the sake of others. You must deliver it 100% as you see it. If none of this seems to fit with your life as it is now, then you may have to completely reorient your direction in life. You are not here to maintain the status quo, but to pull others towards the future. You must endeavor to fulfill your life's work and learn from your evolution, as these will act as the turbine that drives your exciting and groundbreaking life. In the evolution, one of your challenges in life is to step up as a leader. For you, leadership must be based on the highest aspect of your life's work, that is, your ability to listen to others. However, to be a true leader, you have to find the delicate balance between fulfilling other people's needs as opposed to their wishes. in your position, you will sometimes have to disappoint people. But if you're listening to the collective good, in the long run, you will foster no resentment. Guidance means that one hears all the different opinions and then aligns to the group to the path of least resistance. There is a deep strength in you that must overcome your need for recognition. You have a genetic responsibility to move some part of humanity forward into the future. And in this respect, any personal insecurity you feel must be sacrificed. You must ensure that no area of your life is allowed to stagnate. Your body is highly sensitive to your environment, yes. And it is important that you regularly refresh the places in which you live and work. Neither is it a good idea for you to hang on to objects that keep you in the past. Everything about your staying healthy and glowing is about surrounding yourself with freshness, with what is happening right now. Once you have completely completed something, it no longer exists for you. Even though others may cherish it, you need to keep on moving on. Equally, the future holds little importance for you as it takes you away from your creative power, which is about what you are doing in the present. It doesn't matter how tidy your life is. It only matters that it is always original. That's some deep shit, yo. I think there's way more to dive into here. And if you haven't yet, I would 100% get the book and read these 4 gene keys. All right, Alicia, thanks for getting on the list. Okay, next we have Tina. Currently, due to limited vision, funds, etc., can enjoy like visiting Egypt, Australia, etc., and wonder if I'm actually meant to visit those types of places. What's your question, Tina? Can you formulate that into a question? You're welcome, Alicia. And while we're waiting for Tina to answer that question, let me double check. See if anybody else got on the list. Oh, Nancy. Okay, Nancy after Tina. Okay. And then Nancy, you'll be the last one. Are you there, Tina? Okay. She says, I guess if I'm actually meant to visit those types of places, if and when I'm able to overcome current barriers, what's your answer to that? I feel like there's a much more meaningful question that you can ask than this. So I want to encourage you to because the answer is if you want to, yes. That's an easy one. Right? If and when you're able to overcome your current barriers, then yes. That's the answer. But I don't see I feel like there's something much more meaningful that you could ask. I'm going to pull up your astrology chart and see what we can see here. In the meantime, we'll have a conversation. Where's your moon? Oh, it's over here. I see that. The other thing that we can do is, like, astrology is not really the thing to use to answer that question. If you want me, I could do some tarot and oracle, because that's more of like a ethereal question in a sense. It's like, I think there's something that you're asking that's not literally that, and the tarot cards would probably bring through a better answer for you than the astrology. So I'm just gonna go for it, because I don't want to take too long waiting for responses. So here we go. I'm going to ask that question. But the intention of what I actually want you to get as an answer is, what's behind this? You know, what is this actually? It's a sadness for sure. I think you're sad that you haven't been able to, you have a desire to go. And so that's one thing that I sense. The other thing that I sense intuitively is like defeat. And the one thing I do know is that if you enter into like the energy that you enter into things is the energy that you get out of them, right? If you fall into despair, it's like, how are you going to get yourself out of the despair? Why would you want to be in despair about it? Do you know what would be really good for you to learn? And I don't know if do you follow Christopher Witecki? Christopher Witecki teaches the step system, and he teaches that the step system is literally like the steps to manifesting in life. And so maybe what you need to do is sit down with the step system and be like, if this is the thing that I want, this manifestation that I want, to go to Egypt, to visit these like amazing places, but like financially it's just like not in the cards right now. What can I do to actually make that happen? So basically, in a nutshell, what you have to do is put the desire, what you want, into a cocoon. You have to kind of put it into a protective space, a sacred space that will hold that vision, like that nothing can get in the way of the vision, nothing can like interject with it. Like it's clear what you want, right? So if you don't put that vision into like this little womb, then it'll never manifest in the end. So that's the first step. Then the second step is to like ask your heart, what well now what sorry, that your other question distracted me. What gives via the gene keys do I carry? Envision limits, retinitis pigmentosa. Like that's a physical thing you have going on? Have you ever looked at your gene keys before? So, question, do you want me to continue with what I was talking about, or do you want to just drop that and go to the gene keys? Okay, basically meaning I'm legally blind and not sure whether or not I'll lose my vision completely. That's what that means. Okay. We're doing Tina right now. Next is Nancy, and I don't know what your name is. If you want to get on the list, you send $25 to the link in the description of the video. Okay. So I'll continue with what I was saying. Because I think that this is what you need to hear, actually. I think this is it. Okay. If you have a desire, you need to, first of all, protect that desire. Like, people can't be coming around and being like, you know, bullying you into thinking that that's not a good idea. Well, like, nah, this is what I want. I'm going to protect it. I'm going to put it in a little womb. I'm going to put it in this little, like, safe glass container or whatever. And I'm going to hold it in this sacred space because this is truly what I love. This is what my heart wants. So that's step 2. It's like, no, this is what my heart wants. It lives. I'm going to protect it. Okay. So then the next step is like, because I know this is what my heart wants, if it really is what your heart wants, you're going to fully feel the excitement and the love of that thing that you want to create and manifest. And when you feel it, like if you can feel yourself there, when you feel it, you're going to believe it. Like, I'm going to go. I'm going to go. I just know it. I'm going to go. Right. That's the next step, is you have to like fully believe it. Then the next step is you need to like recognize, like, is this really truly where I belong? Do I belong going to Egypt? Do I belong going to Australia? Do I belong taking these fucking epic trips? Fuck yeah. Well, you got to answer that for yourself, right? Do you belong doing that? Do you belong in this and that? And like the vision, right? Does it belong to me or do I belong to it? And vice versa. Then once those are all yeses and the vision is protected, the next step would be like, okay, I think I know how to make this happen. You go into the space of like trying to figure out actual solutions to make it happen, right? Then you open yourself up to receive it. Because sometimes we're like, I want that. But then your frequency is going, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough money. I'm not able to do this. I'm not able to do that. So your frequency and your mental energy in that space is like blocking for you from actually receiving it. Receiving something doesn't have to mean in the physical. Yeah, eventually it'll materialize, but receiving it is like, it's almost like, to me, it's almost like, do you feel in your heart that you truly deserve it? Do you truly feel that you deserve it? That's the next step. It's like, you got to let yourself receive it, right? And then you got to check in with God and be like, Is this the right time, God? You know, you gotta tune into your intuition, your sense of like seeing the unseen and hearing the unheard, being like, is this the right time? And God will never, Chris says, God will never say no. He'll just say, not yet. It's like, okay, not yet. That's cool. I still feel the vision. I still feel this fully, you know? Then when you finally feel like, when you finally get the, yes, this is the right time, you need to make a decision, right? So like if traveling, like, you know, how are you going to make that happen? Well, you need to decide, first of all, that you're going to do it, that somehow you're going to freaking manifest this. You got to decide. Then once you officially decide, I'm going to do this, then you get to work and you put in everything that you can, all the action that you can, that you've you know, innovated to get that thing going, right? And then eventually is when you like you feel like you're in this alignment of like, now your heart is open, fully open to actually receive this thing, to actually fully manifest it. And then it's then that it finally appears and shows up in your life. So there you go. I'd love to go on one of the group trips, either with Robert or Sarah. And even a stretch target is to host or be a part of those in the blind low vision group to experience. Well, there you go. There you go. But you guys sit with it and just like go through that process. Freaking make it happen. You are in control of that, you know? If you let life run you over, like if you let the external circumstances run you over, you know, they will. And then the other thing is, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. Do you know what I mean? But only you can really truly know that inside yourself. I'll still pull a couple cards for you. You should go to seriousjoy.com. Start learning that step system. It'll show you, you know, which one of those steps is missing, you know? Every single piece of that story has to flow in that order in order for like things to really fully manifest. All right. So I'm going to ask your spirit guides, angels, and teachers, what's the most important thing that you need to know right now regarding this topic? Something that will bring more clarity into your life. Okay. Whoa. Okay, first card you get. SeriousJoy.com. Christopher Witecki or Sensei Christopher. Can't remember. For Serious Joy, I think .com is where you can be part of that community. Okay, first card you get, Queen of Pentacles. So the first message is they're saying that, are you in gratitude of like practice gratitude for everything that you have right now. The first step is to actually feel abundant before the abundance comes. That's what they're saying there. Okay, what's the challenge for you in this situation? All right, yeah. So you get the 6 of Cups. So challenge for you is like healing the inner child. There's childhood wounds, childhood trauma that I think maybe hasn't been healed, and the universe is saying that you got to do that work. You got to do that deep work to heal the fears, the traumas, maybe that's soul retrieval sessions for the inner child. Maybe that's whatever work you choose to do or whomever you choose to do it with, but you got to go deep and ask yourself, like, where do all these fears and insecurities come from? What's the overall theme for you right now? Okay, Four of Swords. Rest is really important for you right now. Taking the time to like feel into, to reflect. This is also time to reflect. They're asking you to reflect, go within. And the message from your spirit guides, angels, teacher, what they want to directly tell you right now. Oh, you're welcome. They're saying you need to fucking go at it. You need to charge at it. You need to go at it, you know? Like you need to like take that vision, take that like clarity and then freaking go. Like no more sitting back and wondering if, with what if, like put some like action into it, you know? Like get clear about what you want and follow those steps that I just shared and start making it happen. And we're going to call on one animal spirit to guide you during this journey. All right, you get the turtle. So the turtle is like the main lesson of the turtle is patience. And because the turtle is like slow and steady wins the race is what the turtle tells you. Slow and steady wins the race, which means like you move slowly forward, but you get there, you know? So they're saying that it might take time for this to like become a reality, to unfold, whatever the manifestation is. And so patience will be your greatest friend as you begin to take steps to like make this happen. Okay. Thank you, Tina, for asking your question. And now we're going to go to Nancy. And you're welcome. I know vulnerability is the key. That's the key to healing, guys. That's the key. The answer is always inside of you. All right, here we go. Nancy's question. Okay, Oracle Tarot. General reading. I am feeling stagnant and like everything is up in the air all the time. And at the same time, have many irons in the fire from all directions. GeneKeys.com is the website for that. 9-to-5 job, Reiki business, dog training school, board member, and admin for dog rescue. I feel like my life is fulfilling, exhausting, and like something is missing at the same time. Okay. So first card is, what card represents Nancy right now? And thanks guys for being here and getting on the list and all that good stuff. Okay, the Emperor. Yeah, so the Emperor is the Aries energy. So there's like a lot going on, a lot of responsibility. I mean, I think you're handling it really well. Like that's what this card means. It's like you're handling it really well. You're doing a really good job. This is you. This card represents you. But it does mean like, okay, to be the emperor, there's a lot of responsibility here. So 100%, you're gonna feel the pressure. So what is the challenge for you right now is our second card. What's the challenge? The Magician. Okay. So the challenge is part of me is going to like, what's your authority in human design? Like my brain wants to go there and be like, is there something that you're feeling in your body and your design that's telling you it's out of alignment, and then you need to just make some tweaks, you just change some things and then you'll feel great again. Like maybe you're doing too much. And your body is like, if you overfill your plate, then you're going to get like exhausted. I mean, that's happening to me, last year into this year. It's like that last year was so jam packed with stuff. It kind of felt like overwhelming. All the things. I mean, it was like, I prayed for all of that, but it's like, holy shit, it's just like too much sometimes. So maybe it's too much, but the challenge, the Magician coming in, and the challenge is like trusting in your power to manifest, like the Hermetic alchemy side of things. It's, you have all the tools, like trusting that you have all the tools that you need to also carry you through this. Maybe there is a transition that needs to happen. Maybe there is something that needs to change in the way that it's going right now. And finding clarity is actually really important. But I think trusting, this is already 2 major arcanas too, which is kind of crazy. Trusting in your powers to manifest, to create. That's what I feel is the challenge for you right now. I mean, both of these cards are great cards. What's the overall theme? The challenge could also be using like all the tools. What the fuck? Another major arcana? This is crazy. Okay, overall theme is the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is the teacher. So like stepping into your power, but also learning. Like all of this experience it's learning experience for you. You're learning. Do you have a 3 in your profile? What's the wisdom from your ancestors? What do they want to tell you directly right now? 10 of Wands. I think you've taken on a little too much. But this card is like they're saying you got everything you're doing a great job. It's amazing, but yeah, you're feeling the weight of all the responsibilities. And this is like it feels like a burden now instead of like fun, right? It's starting to feel a little bit more like, oh God, do I really do this again? Like you're starting to feel a little overwhelmed and burdened by it. And the funny thing about this card is that like we do it to ourselves because we get to this point because we're like, no, I got it. I can do this. I got this. I can do this. So they're like, okay, the pressure is here because you put it on yourself. So if you're starting to feel that burnt out feeling, we're now starting to feel like you're pushing against something, that is your design telling you maybe you're overcommitted. Maybe some things you can let go and release. Maybe there's some things that you need to transition out of into something new. And maybe that's it. It's not that because you're doing amazing things, but it's just, okay, maybe drop a couple of sticks, so you're not having to carry all this. And then it starts to feel like, I don't want to do this anymore. It's not fun anymore. You should be able to be in your passion when you're sacred authority. Okay. So what is your body? What's your body saying, here's the crocodile coming out for your little combo medicine right there. I want to read this one. Okay, so the crocodile is about resting, Submerging, collecting energy, and cooling off. Interesting. The crocodile reminds us to step back from the external world and turn inward. Now is not the time for decisions, action, or discussion. The crocodile's mantra is wait. This doesn't mean, like, it's kind of like the strategy is to respond. Yeah. This doesn't mean lying around and hoping life's challenges will disappear. The crocodile is much smarter than that. It means intentionally withdrawing, gathering our awareness, observing and building energy. Fill up the vital reserve so your next move comes from a place of wisdom, of power and power. So the crocodile is like, take some time to sit with this situation and ask your body, right? Sacred authority, what's the right answer for me? Like this, all of these responsibilities, which ones are a yes and which ones are a no? Which ones does my body go, I can't do that anymore? Like, please stop. And then slowly you figure out, the solution, and you start like putting some action into when once you've had the clarity has arrived. But anything you do, you're going to be amazing at. I think you need to remember to take care of yourself. Definitely remember to take care of yourself. Okay. So, one more reading and we're done. So thank you, Nancy. Our last reading is Jennifer. So Jennifer, go ahead and put up your question. And thank you all for getting on the list. The job that pays for the freedom to do the other things is the no. Oh my God. Well, then you're going to have to take a leap of faith. Oof, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Good luck. Oh my God, that's funny. It's usually like that though. Oof. Neptune and Saturn in Aries is going to help. Okay. Jennifer, big shifts afoot, family issues, chosen to not get too worked up about, as I have in the past 3 to 4 decades, so huge. But adventurous, have to respond to the pressure to move. Oh, eventually have to respond. Okay, eventually have to respond to eviction notice. Could be a false one. You're welcome, Nancy. Where are we going with this? What's your question, Jennifer? And damn, your that situation sounds gnarly. I'm sorry that you're going through that. That's fucking gnarly, yo. Some heavy stuff we're definitely dealing with in general as a collective. How spirit wants me to move with it for now. Okay, let's do some cards. So what does Jennifer need to know about this situation that she's currently in right now? What's going to help her gain some clarity about this situation? And how do you want her to move with it for now? Let's see. Okay, first card. And Jennifer is the last one, you guys, so the list is closed now. Okay, this is you right now. 8 of Pentacles. I think what this says, essentially, is that you've been moving pretty steady. You've been working really hard. Focusing. There's a lot of focusing that's been going on. You represent this energy of like, yeah, you're putting in a lot into your life right now. What is the challenge for you? Okay. Whoa. So the challenge is it's the 10 of Swords. Okay. So this card represents, it's like, it's an ending. It's definitely an ending. It can also feel like defeated by something, because it's kind of like beating a dead horse, you know? Certain things in life have run their course, and there needs to be acceptance um in that space. Maybe the things that you've been like working towards and working really hard towards, it's like suddenly there's like the ending, or maybe you've been taken advantage of. I don't know. But it's time to stop putting all your effort into something that's only like, that's not really serving you, is how I would read those two cards. Tropical and equal houses. What's the overall theme? Okay, this card came out, and then I like, it was extra, so I just put it back and it came out again. So it was like, excuse me. 10 of Cups. So what part of you, is there a part of you that feels like you kind of have it all? Like, or maybe this is like your dream, or maybe this is like where you're going, and like the ending that is arriving is because there's actually a greater meaning, a greater purpose to your life. And where you're going next is like actually where you want to go, even though it's like hidden within the fear of the loss. Like, wow, because it just tells me that you've been working on this like 10 of Cups energy. It's just the challenge is like, well, there's certain things that are ending and they need to be released and let go, and you need to move on, because those things are actually getting in the way of this dream, this 10 of Cups dream that you've been like working towards, putting everything into this. What do your spirit guides, angels, teachers want to tell you directly right now? Definitely worked hard, and perhaps at the wrong time, holding on to family pleasing, versus to my real purpose, following my mission, not there. Yeah. Yeah, like it's almost like there's like you wasted your time, but there's a real dream in front of you that you should be really focusing on. Yeah. You just put all this effort into something that like literally like killed you, you know? But you do have a dream. So your spirit guides want you to trust your intuition. They want you to bring more of that like playful, intuitive energy into your life more, to like let that come in. Heal your inner child. Let yourself play. But it's mostly about intuition. Like trust your intuition, play around with your intuition, like bring more playfulness into your life so that that energy can return of like, you know, what's for you, you know? Wow, you got the buffalo. So the buffalo is about setting a prayer, a really strong prayer and a really strong intention. The buffalo will get you there. But the buffalo, one thing about the buffaloes that's really important to know is that, well, they stick together, first of all, but they face the storms. They go straight to the storms. They don't walk away from the storm like the birds and all the other animals. They run away from the storm. The buffalo goes right into the storm. Or like the birds like shelter in place. The buffaloes don't do that. They will walk right through the storm. They'll be like, oh, there, it's coming. Okay, we're going that way, because they know that they'll get through it faster if they walk straight through it, which is an interesting concept, right? The buffalo is grounded yet heavenly, practical yet spiritual. The hoofs of the mighty buffalo are grounded in the earth, yet its heart and mind rise towards the heaven. The buffalo sees challenge, hardship, or a bump in the road as an opportunity for upliftment. Therefore, the buffalo does not fear death, illness, or misfortune. Its gentle eyes look to the road ahead, trusting every turn. May we all experience this elusive yet life-changing bliss from time to time, and may we allow this card to remind us that life is a precious gift. Oh my God, 49, yeah, shadow of reaction. Interesting. Whoo! Their eviction notice, another ploy to detour me from that bigger dream. Joy is my purpose, and not holding relationships meant to be released for both our benefits. Yeah, man, there's no point in battling stupidity, you know? Like, just move on. It's just like, just move on. However you need to move on, you need to move on. That's what this is saying. Like, wow, I just heard don't fight for something that's not yours. And what I mean by that is not that you don't deserve something, is that the gnarliness is not yours. So if you walk away from it, if you stop fighting against it, that you're just going to walk towards prosperity instead of like keep staying in this gnarly energy. That's what I'm getting. I don't know the situation, but that's just what's coming through. So hopefully this gave you some clarity. And thank you for getting on the list tonight for mini readings. Oh yes, I am blessed and will embrace change. Beautiful. Step into that rapture. Okay. Thank you all. I think that, hold on one second. One more message for you. Yes. I knew it. I knew it. Okay. Your 30th is your life's work. Okay. So the new moon annular solar eclipse that is happening on February 17th, the beginning of the fire fucking horse. Okay. That eclipse is happening on your life's work on the 30th. So there you go. More magic coming in. Trust your intuition. Trust your authority in human design. You have a dream. It's bigger than what you're dealing with right now. Stop putting all your effort and energy into something that is like wasting away your dream. All right. Thank you all so much for being here. That was like super fun. I'll be doing these mini readings more. Maybe once a week, maybe every other week. We'll see. We'll see how I feel next week because I've got a lot of broadcasts this week. We're going live tomorrow with Ashley to talk about the Moon Goddess training, which is going to be a very powerful program this year. We start on the year of the fire horse. And going live on Friday to talk about the full moon in Leo. And then on Sunday going live to do the full moon ceremony, Akashic reading, and live music. So I appreciate you all so much. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure to hit the notification bell. Make sure to download my free moon astrology guide. Get on my email list and join our global community to stay connected during these very crazy times with Tribe. Satnam, 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 Satnam. Waheguru. Have a beautiful night, you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Satnam.